Now, from Western North Carolina's news leader, this is News 13 at 11.
It's the kickoff to Vote 2020, night 2 of debating wrapping up moments ago.
10 more Democrats on stage tonight.
Hey guys, you know what? America does not want to witness a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their table.
More promises and plans presented to voters.
The fact of the matter is that the quickest, fastest way to do it is build on Obamacare, to build on what we did. And secondly, to make sure that everyone does have an option.
I believe that education is the future for this country. And that is why I believe that we must make public colleges and universities tuition free and eliminate student debt. And we do that by placing a tax on Wall Street.
Well, yeah, people in America are working. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. So when we talk about jobs, let's be really clear. In our America, no one should have to work more than 1 job to have a roof over their head and food on the table.
But with so many candidates, did anyone in night 2 push ahead of the pack?
Tonight we have team coverage as the presidential hopefuls make their pitch to voters.
Plus, local Democrats try to narrow down who they think should be the party's candidate.
We begin with Marcy Gonzalez, who breaks down the most talked about moments of the night.
The Democratic Party's frontrunners front and center in tonight's contentious NBC debate. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders off the bat outlining his policy proposals.
We have got to pass a Medicare for all single-payer system. I believe that education is the future for this country. And that is why I believe that we must make public colleges and universities tuition free.
Met by immediate disagreement.
I think the children of the wealthiest Americans can pay at least a little bit of tuition.
The 10 candidates on this stage in Miami going after President Donald Trump.
Trump is a phony, that Trump is a pathological liar and a racist.
And at times, each other.
Joe Biden was right when he said it was time to pass the torch to a new generation of Americans 32 years ago. He's still right today. Pass the torch.
I'm still holding on to that torch.
Vice President Joe Biden spending part of the night defending himself, including on issues of race.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of 2 United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
It's a mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racist.
The presidential hopefuls trying to squeeze enough into their 1-minute answers to differentiate themselves in this crowded field. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Miami, Florida.
The second night of this season's first primary debate wrapped up just a few minutes ago, as you saw, and 10 of the 24 Democrats running stepped on stage tonight, hoping to make an impression on the voters.
News 13's Rafael Perez joins us live from a watch party at the block off Biltmore in Asheville. And Rafael, any standout moments tonight for the people there?
Steph, Frank, one moment that got a big reaction from the folks here was when Representative Eric Swalwell, he attacked some of those older candidates on stage by quoting something that Vice President Joe Biden said almost 30 years ago, and that is that it's time to pass the torch. Now, if you look behind me, you'll see there's still a couple of folks left here at the block off Biltmore, but just a few minutes ago, before the debate ended, dozens of people were out here watching that second round of Democrats fight for the chance to take on President Trump in 2020. Among tonight's candidates, frontrunner Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, and Kamala Harris. The topics focused on included healthcare, immigration, and climate change. But once again, a big moment tonight was that pass the torch comment.
To me, it seems like it's the position on the issues that matters. And while I agree totally that when all of us old white men are dead, that things will be better in some regard, it's not simply generational. It's who grasps the issues.
Now, President Donald Trump was among some of the folks around the country watching this debate tonight. He tweeted out today saying, "All Democrats just raised their hands for giving millions of illegal aliens unlimited health care. How about taking care of American citizens first? That's the end of that race. Now, of course, there are several other Democratic debates scheduled, so this is just the first of many on a long road here to the 2020 election. The next Democratic debate is actually scheduled for July 30th and 31st in Detroit. But for now, reporting live from Asheville, I'm Rafael Puris, News 13.
New details tonight about the investigation into a plane crash in Fairview that wreck killed 2 men. News 13's Taylor Young spoke with a family member of one of the victims who sheds light on his experience as a pilot.
The remains of a 2-seat, single-engine plane sits yards away from where it came crashing down on Lower Bush Creek Road yesterday morning.
Just as close to home as it was, just how sad.
Susan Gillum lives down the road from the crash site and says it's common to hear planes flying over her house.
It's always a treat to see them come in and out. One of the things I enjoy about living here.
She never thought 2 men would lose their lives doing so. Now investigators are trying to find out how it happened.
The purpose of our investigation is not only to determine what happened, but why the accident happened, so that we may prevent future accidents from occurring again.
FAA officials say the 2 people on board were 76-year-old Malachi Beckham Jr. of Fletcher and 72-year-old John Gateskill of Hendersonville. Gateskill's wife, Pam, reached out to News 13. She wouldn't speak on camera, but is shedding light on the 2 pilots. She describes the 2 men as experienced flyers and says they were conducting a biannual flight review during the time of the crash.
The investigation will move forward and cover the history of flight. What was the purpose of flight? What were the qualifications of the pilots? All of those details we will be moving forward and learning.
In Fairview, Taylor Young, News 13.
Investigators say the plane will remain in Fairview overnight and then will be brought to a facility in Tennessee for further inspection. They expect to release a preliminary report in 10 days. A massive sinkhole continues to grow in the mountains. It's in a parking lot of a property off Merriman Avenue. Today, city officials deemed the building on the property unsafe, meaning no one's allowed inside. The sinkhole has grown from 12 feet to 36 feet in just a week. The city says the property owner is required to fix it. The property owner is now working to find a solution.
North Carolina lawmakers have passed a bill that aims to make ride shares safer across the state. The bill requires drivers to put their license plates on the front of their vehicles and have an illuminated sign. It follows the death of USC student Samantha Josephson. She died after someone impersonating an Uber driver picked her up. It passed the House today and will now head to the Senate. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled gerrymandering cases are a political question, meaning federal courts can't decide them. This means North Carolina's congressional districts, which are among the most scrutinized in the country, could still be in place for the 2020 election. Many Democrats criticized the decision, while Republican representatives praised the ruling. Addicted North Carolina later, how one group plans to raise awareness about the crisis through music and woodworking.
Intense new Bodycam video shows the moments right before a man was shot by police. Next, see the struggle between officers and the victim.
And a few minutes left in a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Greenville County and also Anderson County. Down over the upstate, a large cluster of storms there capable of producing damaging wind and large hail. Headed over Clemson now, outside of Greenville's where most of the worst weather is. Heads up in the southern end of Henderson County and Transylvania. You might get some rain. In the morning, though, it's dry. Temperatures in the 60s for that morning rush. Stick around. I'll show you the big changes by the end of the weekend.
It's new intense body cam video tonight showing the moments leading up to an officer-involved shooting in Durham.
The shooting happened back in March, and we want to warn you, this video could be disturbing for some.
No!
Andre Hutchinson was shot 3 times before he died. The video seems to confirm the police account of the confrontation. Hutchinson was handcuffed and then tried to grab the officer's gun.
Get off my gun! Shoot it! Let go! Shoot you! Taser! I got it. What's he doing? Stop! No!
The officers involved in the shooting have already been cleared of any wrongdoing.
New tonight at 11, two brothers floating down the Neuse River in Johnston County got quite a scare. They were in inflatable tubes tied together when they spotted a rather large alligator. The brothers swam to a bank but got stuck and had to be rescued. Officers came to the rescue to get them back to shore. The brothers were a bit shaken but are all right. It was a perfect summer day today in the mountains, but the showers are returning. Jason times out the rain coming up.
But first, fighting the opioid epidemic. Next, how music is bringing awareness to a recovery program to help people facing addiction.
Tonight, we continue our series on Addicted North Carolina. This weekend, a pop-up concert will be held to raise awareness about the opioid crisis.
Organizers from the not-for-profit organization Red Hot will be in town. They'll be at a place called Making Whole. It's a world-class woodworking shop disguised as an addiction recovery program. The sound of hard work.
And then do a power, like a Bruce Lee 1-inch punch.
A sense of direction, finally, after struggling to find it for years.
The biggest thing is I think I've learned how to learn, if that makes sense.
Ethan Cole is 21 years old and a recovering drug addict.
It's hard to describe why. I don't even know why I kept doing it, I just did.
About 8 months ago, he found his way here to Making Whole.
That's a good one.
It's an addiction recovery process built into the framework of a traditional apprenticeship program.
So these guys are working in an atmosphere that has a reality to it right there, which is this is real woodwork, real furniture making, not busy work where we're just pretending to make hand plane shavings.
Andy Ray serves as artist in residence in the woodshop. He helps guys like Ethan and Michael Lappin on their road to recovery.
I mean, I think just not being happy was kind of what I think sent me down that road. So, and just not being fulfilled with like really anything that I ever did. So I think that part is, it's not missing in me anymore.
It's like he's becoming whole again, a feeling owner Jeremy French hopes everyone experiences when they walk in this shop.
My job is to create fertile ground so that things can happen.
Because he knows more than anyone the impact drugs can have on someone's life.
I got sober in '95. I've lost count of the number of people I've known who've died from this.
He's now trying to help save others.
1, 2, 3!
Red Hot has a similar mission. This is video from one of their pop-up concerts earlier this year. An event focused on the opioid crisis.
It is essentially awareness raising. Maybe use the power of music to shine a light and amplify stories that people maybe might not ordinarily listen to because it's just too much.
They're hoping to spread that same message here in Asheville.
Oh, you're about there.
A message guys like Ethan hope will make them whole once again.
I mean, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, hit a meeting or ask for help, because somebody, almost definitely somebody will help you or drive you to a meeting or even help you get to detox or treatment. And there's plenty of people out there to help. All you got to do is ask.
That concert will be held this Sunday at 2 p.m. We will continue our series on Addicted North Carolina over the next several weeks. To see our other reports and for a complete list of resources available in our area, go to WLOS.com.
Now, your News 13 Skywatch weather.
Some big-time boomers happening over the upstate at this hour. Lots of thunderstorm activity that has been following I-85 now, moving into Pickens County and slowly into Oconee County. It's already affected Spartanburg and Greenville County. Inside these storms, we have plenty of lightning, most recently 9 strikes of lightning, and a report of some wind damage down here in the northeast corner of Anderson County. You can see the strongest cells now making their way over Clemson. A lot of lightning. Stay indoors in these areas. Wind damage with numerous reports of trees down now. now across the northeastern part of Anderson County and some of the roads affected there. So that's where the action resides this evening. Not anticipating much action here in the mountains. We could see some showers work their way into southern Transylvania, southern Jackson County, but for the most part, it should be pretty quiet. Back into that sunshine later on tomorrow after we burn off some morning clouds. The UV index at 10, so definitely wear the sunscreen. That is a very high category for us in terms of sunshine here in the mountains. Futurecast, we will see some rain. It's not everywhere that will be dry tomorrow, but most will not see rain. There's the Futurecast in the morning, the clouds burning off, sunshine in the afternoon. Between noon and 4, we start to fire those showers and storms up. They're called diurnal thunderstorms because they typically fade after the sun sets. Tonight, a different story for the upstate because storms initiated over Charlotte, and without flow boundaries, that cool air that rushes ahead of these storms, it helps support new storms along 85, and that was a unique situation for those folks. Those storms certainly will rain themselves out in the next couple of hours, if not sooner. As we roll through the nighttime hours into Saturday morning, notice skies clear out again, the storms fade, and then we'll start to pop up some into Saturday afternoon. It looks like Saturday might be a little quieter than tomorrow. So more of us will be on the drier side this weekend. Poolside forecast. Good day to be poolside before those showers do pop up, of course. Temperatures well into the 80s in most cases tomorrow. And this is just the beginning of more heat that's yet to come through the weekend. Sunday's highs, 80s and 90s from Asheville south. And look at the 90s breaking out Monday through the Piedmont into the Midlands of South Carolina. Boy, anywhere east of the mountains will be baking as we roll towards the 4th of July. So a big time heat wave for those areas with triple-digit heat in many cases from south of the upstate into the Piedmont. All right, forecast lows tonight in the 60s. That's a pretty comfortable night for us. 80s for highs tomorrow, and the 7-day forecast includes temperatures well into the 80s and even hotter into next week.